It is a solution to our higher mathematics for class 10 under the syllabus of Board of Secondary Education Manipur. Solution asli Board of Secondary Education Manipur की class 10 की textbook higher mathematics अदुगी solution namani. Chapter Mathematics and Induction, solved and presented by Salam Sundar Singh, lecturer, Sultan Higher Secondary School, Imphal. Mathematical induction. Introduction. The word induction means inferring a general statement from the validity of particular cases. Particular cases singe achumba wafam adudagi general statement ama tarakpabu aikoina induction haina khangnagani. Mathematical induction is a method which is frequently used to establish the truth of a mathematical proposition or statement involving natural numbers, and it provides a logical proof to generalize a mathematical result. Mathematical induction is a method amari toina sijanaba angkagi oiba proposition natraga statement nesana mayaw amagi achumba adu proof to the toina sijanaba method amani. It provides a logical proof to generalize a mathematical result. Machine mathematical result amagi proof to generalize from the machine to we. Concerning natural numbers, adugumba mathematical result to natural numbers yawu oigadabani atopa yawba rational number gumudari yade. A mathematical proposition involving natural numbers is denoted by P of n. N belongs to n, the set of natural numbers. Natural number yawba mathematical proposition amabu capital P of n khangnagani. Principle of mathematical induction masigi niyom se karine yensi. If Pn be a mathematical proposition such that P of 1 is true and P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true, where k is an arbitrary value of n, then P of n is true for all natural numbers n. Pn have a mathematical proposition asi P of 1 asina chumaba P of k plus 1 asina chumaba P of k plus 1 chumba matamdadi P of k su chumi haine lawraba matungda proof tawgadabani. K asina 1 nataba natural number n gi value amani. Then adu chumlabadi animak P of 1 ne P of k plus 1 so animak chumlabadi P of n asina natural number pumnamakta chumi. Masibo ikone kari kawi principle of mathematical induction. If Pn be a mathematical proposition such that number 1 the P of 1 is true and number 2 the P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true, where k is an arbitrary value of n, then P of n is true for all natural numbers n. Mathematical proposition P of n chumi haina proof tawge harabadi P of 1 chumgadabani loina P of k plus 1. P of k plus 1 chumi haina bagidamaktadi P of k su chumi haina lokshillaba matungda utkadabani. Ani maksi punchum chumlabadi P of n as natural number punamakta chume. Thus, the method of mathematical induction requires the following three basic steps. Method of mathematical induction as group tonolog the makha step ahum sichangi. Verification verify the validity of P of n for n equal to 1. Ahan the P of n the n to 1 sinuma the statement bichumi and utpa. Ani subada inductive property. Inductive property haibadi assume P of n is true for n equal to k. P of k is sumi haina low loxilo and then deduce that P of k plus 1 is also true. P of k plus 1 is sumi haina ulu haiba deduct haibadi uthoklamu. Then deduce that samtharamo P of k plus 1 is also true. P of k plus 1 sumi puna nabagidamakkari P of k sumi haina low mathau tai. Conclusion P of n is true for all n belongs to n. Last conclusion that P of n is natural number punamakta sumi haina conclude to waroshiti. 3. Prove by mathematical induction for all n belongs to n. Sum of the cubes of half n natural number c n plus 1 by 2 whole square ni masimamangi parada. Some important finite series habadu da kuna proof to kare identity ama puraga adu mafam asidadi mathematical induction na proof to let's see. Let Pn denotes the pyramid statement is the P of n khangarasi. For n equal to 1 left hand side equal to the oitang saru asubuni n equal to 1 haragadi first term ki left hand side oragadi first term ki value haibani that is 1 cube t 1 tare. Adu right hand side equal to the right level sibuni n 1 pishilo and simplify to 1 tare. Okay, left hand side ki value 1 ni right hand side ki value 1 ni n 1 alona tanda. Therefore, left hand side equal to right hand side. Ani manare. Then thus P of 1 is true. N 1 over matamda statement as chumni. Let P of k be true for some k belongs to n. Hamapun masida yauriba k as in a number 1 nataba. Therefore, talk with us nataba. Chumian statement si n case in Robola Chumiana loxel then. Matati proposition as we are n to the mechanics in the operani. Adding k plus 1 term, that is the case of a term the k cube, me k plus 1 sugar, one more term the k plus 1 whole cube on both sides we get 11 side adu the k cube as you can consider k plus 1 whole cube absolutely right as you give value to thamani plus k plus 1 whole cube to thamani or the term is k plus 1 whole square na kamalo to plus k tamani makti yawi ahan tangi the makti k square by 4 hore and sugar tangi the k plus 1 she amuk sum up to see sum up to k plus 2 whole square tare the square do hamagusu 4 begin to look for us on it. Adu rabadi pyramid statement of k the sum of k the sum statement of k the right sum statement do k plus 1 the k plus 1 hamadu this must be what this must be 2 3 equal k plus 1 or this k plus 2 tarane k dana k plus 1 sundo cross k plus 1 sundo adi k plus 1 of 1 k plus 2 ne pyramid statement de chumme. Therefore p of k plus 1 is 2 whenever p of k is 2. P of k is 2 मैंने लोग से लगा p of k plus 1 chumme. And by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Pyramid statement is say p of n value purna maktu chumme. Exercise 3.1 mathematical induction. Question number 1. If P of n is the statement n square plus 2 is a multiple of 3, so that P of 2 is true and P of 3 is false. Let's see. When n equal to 2, n square plus 2, whose value is 6, which is divided by 3. Therefore, n square plus 2 is a multiple of 3. It's true. When n equal to 3, n the 3 division of the 3 square plus 2, that is 11, which is not a multiple of 3, but a trigonometrical algebraic. Therefore, P of 2 is true and P of 3 is false. Question number 2. If Pn is the statement 5 to the power twice n plus 5 n minus 1 is divisible by 9, state P of 2. Is P of 1 is true, P of 3 is false. When n equal to the value of this expression is n the equivalent to this value, we get this and sum up to the equivalent 630 which is divisible 9 into 7 which is divisible by 9. When n equal to 1, si chumbrahang bani n pisilo n the 1 pisilo badi, we get 27. 27 si the 9 multiple ni 9 into 3 ni. This is divisible by 9. Therefore, P of 1 is true. For Roman number 2, n equal to 3. The value of this expression is this, which is 9 divided by 8, which is not divisible by 9. 9 and by other. Therefore, P of 3 is false. P of 3 is false story lal. Number 3. If Pn is the statement n square plus n greater than 15 and if P of k is true, prove that P of k plus 1 is true. If Pn is the statement n square plus n is greater than 15 and P of k is true, prove that P of k plus 1 is true. When n equal to k plus 1, n the k plus 1 is the law, this k plus 1 is the law, then simplify to value evaluate to evaluate to matung the sig value si kaya hange k square plus k is greater than 15 adu di 6 is 15 oirabadi 15 nigi sawa number oirabadi kharaga habjalabadi 15 nigi pung chap chawgre then adu pyramid statement ase p of k chumi hane loksulaga p of k plus 1 chumi hane ule. Therefore, p of k plus 1 is true when p of k is true. For question number 1, Roman number 1. Let Pn be the given proposition that is the given statement of civil Pn see. When n equal to 1, left hand side is 2. First term of the equal to be left hand versus left hand side go equal to the right hand versus right hand side go. Left hand when n equal to 1, left hand side every first term ni term has the plus minus the left one. First value to 2 letter and right hand side to the n expression n could make 1 to simplify to 2 letter. So now 11 side value to 2 ni, right hand side value to 2 ni, mako any manner. Therefore 11 side equal to right hand side. Thus P of 1 is true. First verification to verify it. Then let P of k be true for some k greater than 1 belongs to n. K have a value of mathematics proposition as chume hane loxel k asi mafam asida test step to give 1 as nataba natural number amani. Then pyramid statement is the or n kudumak yan sindo si pangane. Adding next k super term k plus 1 super term 2 times of k plus 1. Adding 2 times of k plus 1 on both sides we get left becomes this left is here when we write the hanagi expression plus new expression hapsilani. Taman is the common order factor k plus 1 common log kani. First term k reho second term with 2 reho 2 to 1 plus 1. This family expression as therefore p of k plus 1 is true whenever p of k is true. K give k the sum statement to k ki jaga do k plus 1 k ki jaga do k plus 1 formula gi 1 like that. P of k chume hana ro p of k plus 1 chume hoji ani suba cases to verify tore. Hence by principle of mathematical induction Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Natural number kudumata proposition Pn is chume induction ni matung n. For Roman number 2, let Pn be the given proposition. That is this statement is given to me. Pn khangna receive when n equal to our left side or left hand side. First term value di 1 right side every right side si n expression ni n to the 1 so simplify to 1 phange. Left amasung right side ki value animak manare. Therefore thus p of 1 is true. Verification no function. Let P of k be true for k belongs to n. K have a C1 nataba number amane, fair number amani. That is pyramid statement of serial n kuduma k sindova thamani. Then this is C kaya subatam no k subatami. K plus 1 mongoni bitam amachaw batam di k jaga k plus 1. Adding 3 times of k plus 1 minus 2 on both sides we get both sides kun masigi tam hapsulani si hapsule. Then we get what? Hanagi right to Malangana Tamani, and over Hapsel of the Tam simplify or Matong of Sipangani. Absolutely, Tamani should become a better lady. And do whatever is some of Torosi, Mataka Sipang, Mataka Pekarai, Toroga with EMC, Pekarai Toroga Sipanga. Then I do the key is around to the Mata K plus 1 exact symbol from my expression to ORA. Therefore, POK plus 1 is true whenever POK is true. POK is to me, Hannah Loxulaga, POK plus 1 is to me, and put the Wongam left. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Pyramid with statement and a friend number 2 number 3, 1 plus 3. Pyramid let Pn denote the given proposition. That is this expression. When n equal to 11 side, the first term will be 1 and the right hand side the n expression n to the 1 to simplify to 1 from left and right animal manner. Thus P of 1 is true. Verification function for Lore and super case. Let P of k be true for k belongs to n. P of k to me loxole that is hanagi n kudum of 2 k alone is dobra cd k super tamni k plus 1 super tamni k plus 1 sindoga fangani. Adding 5 times of k plus 1 minus 4 on both sides we get this expression. Hanagi tamdomis pelere 1 more c times simplification is the time. Plus C tam to million than a tamani, and over tam C verify to simplify from the common shipment. Taman to become a Yopia Yaudi, then some of the Pablo Cooperative that you know Purira, we get this expression. Pangama, Petrai Toxi, Petrai Tomatamda, Kig is around to the Mokati plus 1 Tambari from the Pamangama, to Messi, K to the market plus 1 to forget expression to Panga. Therefore, P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Principle of mathematical induction, Pn is seen as a number of consumers. Number 4. Let Pn be the proposition that is the given expression. When n equal to 1 left hand side the W first term is 1 and right hand side the n expression n to the 1 which will verify to 1 thang. Therefore left hand side equal to right hand side thus P of 1 is true, verification is over. Let P k be true maram this mataki n c k the left right mana hene loxil say. Adding next case of time one more term to the k k plus 1 into only to verify to on both sides we get c terms plus new terms mahapchalani. Also, Hana right term length Hamani Hangi C expression Lerani. Tamani Segi K plus 1 by 2, Kamal of Fokre, Silay, Amuk simplify to Toxi, Sumana Pinchele, Amuksu, factorize Toro, Silegi K plus 1 whole into K plus 2 Panga. And you come the expression of Hana Yupom Yobungandri. Therefore, K plus 1 is an square cut for Hana square cabra, Hana square cut, then K plus 1. K plus 2 will be K plus 1 plus 1 and there. K की जगह को मतलब K plus 1 K की जगह जो K plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 by 2 ले. Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true whenever P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Number 5. Let Pn be the proposition that is this given expression. When n equal to 1 left hand side is the first term value 1 1 and right hand side the n expression n 1 replace to for simplify to 1 pangani. Therefore left hand side equal to right hand side mana thus P of 1 is true, verification is over. Let P of k belongs to n be true, then the given statement the proposition we are with n to then adding that this is k super term the k cube k plus 1 super term the k plus 1 whole cube on both sides we get Hanag expression plus k plus 1 cubes masculine. Right the Hanag expression thamani plus another term adding torani. Tamani segi k plus 1 whole square kabalo fokrani. 2 4 lo so so the manu with perfect square was k plus 2 whole square. See amok rewrite to see square kabalo to kisi square kabalo to suna thambe k की जगह k plus 1 k की जगह k plus 1 by 2 whole square. Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true whenever P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Proof by mathematical induction prove that these are equal. Let Pn denote a proposition when n equal to 1 left hand side and the first term the 1 into trinity and the right hand side the n expression n to the 1 to simplify to 3 left hand side right hand side manner thus P1 is true. Let Pk be true. Pyramid statements the n to the k is docro adu mana hena loxilasi. Adding this k over term k over term k one more term k plus k plus 1 over term k to the k plus 1 is the law. So verify to the term both sides are equal to loxin q we get this. But si ma one more over term which we have plus the terms Taman is the key when a Kamalo to have a portion of 1 by 3 and a local which he multiply to already. Simplify expanded or any to the factorized or any equal Paripange, K is the gap to the K plus 1 loan is the expression of Pange. Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true whenever P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. Command number 7. Let Pn be the proposition when n equal to 1 left hand side is 1 right hand side is n 1 pishalo we get this. Therefore, I come on therefore P of 1 is true. P of 1 is true. Verification over. Let P of K be true. Have it n to the market expression the man and let's say. Adding k over down one more term the k plus 1 symbol verify to 1 by 2 power k on both sides we get left becomes left to the right this plus new terms mahapsalan. Taman is the u to the Kamala Pokrani, LCM Toro the 2 power k minus 1 2 power k 2 power k and so in 1 LCM 2 power k or any. In the American k 2 to me 2 then is to multiply it over you get first 2 term new numerator plus 1 term. Move factorize over simplest form the sum. So we are a key with our putting masta when a k plus 1 should overcome by expression of time. Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true if P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n children. Number I. Let Pn denote the proposition when n equal to 1, left hand side will be 1 by 3, 1 by 1 into 3, there is 1 by 3, and the right hand side t, n gets expressed n to the motor 1, so we get 1 by 3. Value on the manner, therefore P1 is to pass. Verification is over. Let POK be true, then POK is n to the motor and syndrome level, so right, and in heading C case of time, one more time, K to plus 1 syndrome, verify or you get it. On both sides, you can have an animal that looks into the civil animal that when absolutely left becomes this, right becomes 100 term plus new term. Term is the economic common of Pupia, but for to the canal of Pupia, to the term C twice K plus 1 to the expression like the term Amaga Watley, to twice K plus 1 Amaga Watley. Common is the 1 by of 2k plus 1 log hokraba. Another LCM toro si pange. Then since the yellow beach deduction with 2 k plus 3 k go pin number for the si pangane. Matato 1 terminate so materialize toro si materialize toro matan si pange. Si amoko ni k plus 1 hana gizo 2k gizo gada. Tiki common factor ani si kana ni common factor ani. Masama sumakari aru common factor kana ore si common factor ani si kana ka. So K plus 1 or 2 times of K plus massive asumana rewrite over here. Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true if P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Let Pn denote the proposition of Cpn account that is this n putting up to Chigi expression when n equal to 1 left hand side becomes first term of the left hand side T1 include the 1 right hand side n the expression n to the 1 which will simplify to 1 time let us write the value manner. Therefore P01 is true. Verification is over. Let P of K greater than 1 be true. We have a natural number of manu tested of 1 so natural number of manu that is n to the most of K and alone is in the we get this. The case of a time K plus 1 so the time adding K the K plus 1 to the level 1 by or 3 K on both sides we get that becomes 2 level right that is Hanek expression plus after level times of the Tamani. Taman is the icon sum of Torogani, sum of Torogani, then she can move verify Torogana, stand up Chigi K the other K plus 1 from the Tamang number Yangamingham. Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true whenever P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. One number 10. Let Pn denote the proposition P. Then, when n equal to 1 left hand side, first term will be 2 and the right hand side 2 we n expression n the 1 we get 2. We do in the same manner left right up, therefore P1 is true. Verification over. Let P of K be true. K has 1 at number then Mataki end the Yariba, Mataki proposition help into the mechanism of cross. Case of the only 1 more over time the adding 2 for K plus 1, adding K plus 1 stamp that is 2 plus K plus 1 on both sides we get let becomes this right to Hana expression Tamo, absolute Tamama Tamasi Taman is ready to now. Kamalo she expand of as soon as expand over Matam the Manabani Fang. Manavani 2 times of 1 of them. Stigamo 2 Kamalo force you get this. In a he is a rather capable of expression of Therefore, P of K plus 1 is true whenever P of K is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. 11. Let Pn denote the proposition when n equal to 1 left hand side is 1 into 2 that is 2. Right hand side is n the 1 pixel level we get this 2 function. Animak manare, therefore P01 is true. Let P of K be true for some K belongs to n. K is 1 is solve number, natural number. That is the Mahanu proposition of n to the mechanism of the case of the value, Mount the other solve time the adding k plus 1 into 2 power k plus 1 on both sides we get that becomes this right hana tam thamani plus hapchilak tam lairani tamani stegi kana common logo yai this must be to plus over tam ani stegi kana logo pe abasulu 2 power k plus 1 common logo for then k plus 1 k minus 1 plus k plus 1 adu twice k lere twice k times of 2 power k minus 1 adu c plus 2 guna lere tamani stegi amok aikoina factorize of c ki twice k the term sakre c ki 2 guna power packet kare then k le hoy k division amok ibi plus 2 adu regadi hobi ke dore hana ki proposition da yawba k du kana sindokre yaramba k du yaramba k du k plus 1 sindokra Sigi mata ke power ke sigi power ke hobi k plus 1 sindokra atai format amata fongra jumna Therefore, P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n belongs to n. Let Pn denote the proposition when n equal to 1 left hand side the first term we value the 6 letter right side Pn expression n equal to 1 to shall simplify to 6 point value on same manner. Therefore, P of 1 is true. Verification is over. Let Pk be true for some k belongs to n case 1 at 1 at the next number amani. That is pyramid by expression of n to the k and only replace or plus irani. Then see case of time one more time the k is the k plus 1 k is the k plus 1 or d k plus 1 is k plus 2 k is the k plus 1 k k plus 2 on both sides. Nakarani mo absolutely right in the plus 100 the see manung the yauke. Then C times me ito ani plus hapsala ko tambal nakan anis irani anis tegi 1 by 4 ka common factor ka kana common log ko ani kana log ko ni yang C ani makro ko common factor di k plus 1 si yawe k plus 1 yawe ida k plus 2 yawe ida k plus 2 yawe tam ani sima k plus 2 yawe k plus 2 yawe then underline to the terms of the common log ko probably we get Tam log 1 by 4 log 4 kare to C tam lem over to the 1 by 4 ni C no 1 ni adu wadu di kya le 1 by 4 tam log 4 kiba C di log 4 ti tam ahum lima pull up log 4 kare to the 1 by 4 plus 1 1 2 3 or sticky ama yaw ba si da adu di kya ya ho da Exactly, I may have those. Another video of the one that follow property, with kill a red, then she can anti out the needs for later. Therefore, POK plus 1 is true whenever POK is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. Let Pn denote the proposition of Cpn when n equal to 1 left hand side. The first term of the left hand side is 1 square, whose value is 1. Right hand side is the expression of n, put n equal to 1 and simplify, we get 1. Therefore, left hand side equal to right hand side, and therefore PO1 is true. Verification is over. Let Pk, induction, inductive, then K equals to 1, that is our next number be true. That is n to the mark k no longer replace the proper case of time. Adding CG one more time the k plus 1 from the O verified or oscillator on both sides. We get CG Hanagism to the Tamani and over Tamkin starts from Tamani to the Karakamalovi twice k plus 1 Kamalopokra and by 3 0 proclamation 3 and Hangalani. Then Manam to verify Toro and a factorized Toro the Panam Yai with secretarized or the not Tangani. Then the tongue with pharmacy. Amok verify tawraga sumni irani k jaga khudumokta k jaga khudumokta k plus 1 k jaga k plus 1 k jaga k plus 1 sapana form ni manare Therefore, P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. Prove by mathematical induction that for all n belongs to n Roman number 4. Let Pn denote the proposition. Proposition the Pn account when n equals to 1, the value of left side is 1 by 4 and right hand side n the 1 comma with 1 by 4. Therefore, I command array that thus P of 1 is true. Let P of k is greater than 1. Any k is here arbitrary natural number of 1 then pyramid expression of n to the mark n alone refers to which many looks let's say adding should get one more solve the time to be k to the after the mark to verify the process function animal anima perhaps we get let becomes this right behind the term this must be k ck will get one. Then taman is the 1 by of 3k plus 1 comma local arm begin k rehore and is begin 1 by of this simplify toro multiplicarize toro si multiplicarize toro the factorize toro me then common factor yori song to chip of rani k jaga k plus 1 3 jaga 3 times of k plus 1 plus 1 of the k jaga to k plus 1 so do from expression ko sange. Therefore p of k plus 1 is true when p of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. Let Pn be the proposition 2 for n greater than n, or affirmatively Pn accountability when n equal to 1. The equation is the n of 1, which we get 2 is greater than 1, which is true. Therefore, P of 1 is true. P of k be true for some k belongs to n. 1 natural number of k. Then 2 power k greater than k. Multiplying both sides by 2. I will 2 power k plus 1 or k higher both sides 2 we get left this level rise to 2 k letter. Then CD power base 1 over the power taking 2 power k plus 1 k twice k plus k. K have a see amok 1 is broker. A so we must 1 is broker. K plus k na tawgani k plus 1 dagi. Therefore, P of k plus 1 is true if P of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. 3 to the power twice n minus 1 is divisible by 4. When n equals to 1, given expression is I or I before into 4 in Therefore, P of 1 is true. Let P k greater than 1 be true. Hari k have 1 not a natural number of human looks then 4 in expression higher massive 4 into q, where q is quotient when this expression is divided by 4. Pyramid expression 4 in matamda Pangbo quotient with q hana laure. I will the 4 in expression have 4 into atopa natural number of Pangable. When n equal to k plus 1, pyramid by a proposition of k of n k plus 1 into a c left the right another sin c k putting k plus 1 into k plus 1 into over the what should we get with 2 times so k plus 1. Masida c to c 2c c 1 or the multiply the rows with Hangani, then Shirigi Amokona. 3 square into 3 to the power k minus 100 harmony. Then she 3 square comma log focus is 9 in sim duck harmony minus 1. She gets question with Hangana connection minus 1 letter minus 1 half Kaidoki half plus 1. Hanagi minus 1 to the Putarani. 9 multiply to the Kapanga, 9 multiply to the Shigi expression of similar Tamo, Shigi 9, you know, wonderful with 9 Tamo, then Shidi Karana Sudokani, 4 units in Dokar City. The 4 kings in Dokoro, 9 minus 1, I mean, the big lady expression is Rigamu 4 Kamala Tosi, Pony and Mayala machine, the 4 into an excellent number, 4 of Dokoro of the 9 Q letter, 4 of Dokoro the 2 letter, 4 into an excellent number or the Q is 1 by 4. Therefore, P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. 9 power n minus 1 is divisible by I. Let Pn denote the proposition this is divisible by I. When n equal to 1 given expression, the n the 1 below we get I term which is divisible by I. Therefore, P01 is true. Let P of k be true. Have a G expression, let's say in the case in the complex expression, I need to have it I into Q, where Q is percent when this expression is divided by I. For n equal to k plus 1, n the k plus 1 those later right another C 9 power k plus 1 minus 1. It must be minus 1 sigma. So minus C minus 1 over the one. So minus E so minus E 9 into 9 power k. You give more for a 9 come below 9 power k minus 1 is a function then sig 9 is minus 1 of minus 9 plus 9 balance or hana minus 1 makada to 9 power k minus 1 is I k and I q most for 9 minus 1 the I is the I come below for I have a from this is divisible by I. Therefore, P of k plus 1 is 2 when is P of k is true. Then this is divisible by a minus b. When proposition is p and when n equal to 1, the value this is divisible by masada. Therefore, P of 1 is true. Let p k greater than 1 belongs to n be true. Then the k and c a minus b a minus b into q where q is percent. When this expression is divided by a minus b, we get expression. That expression is denoted by q here. For n equal to k plus 1, I'm going to by expression say n is a to the power n minus b to the power n k plus 1 so we get it. But see the hand of time the given a from a low for n minus a power k minus b case in the touch say Masiko Yarmanate, Hapchilla, when the balance on the in a mono to the Hapchilla and Hydrokido, a kind of plus or the balance or any. Hanagi b power minus b power k plus 1 the land and a common housing. A power k minus b power k the a minus b into q the motion docracy. Then Taman is the amu b k common low focus in a b minus b. Tam anis the whole week a minus b hour as a common low focus a minus b common low focus is a times of q. A minus p to be power k letter. We see a minus p in the Therefore, P of k plus 1 is true whenever P of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true. X to the power n minus 1 is divisible by x minus 1. X does not equal to 1. Pn denote the proposition this is divisible by x minus 1 when n equal to 1. Expression x to the power n minus 1 will be x minus 1 is divisible by the sum of the Therefore, P of 1 is true. Let Pk be true for k greater than 1 belongs to n. 1 at above n is n barabani case. Then x to the power k minus 1 is x minus 1 into q, while q is quotient of n when x to the power k minus 1 is divided by x minus 1. For n equal to k plus 1, x as n or x as n or n the k plus 1 into over this expression then I have time to money x from a lot of x power k minus 1 in fact is x the monopoly will be manner x the minus extra minus 1 to the minus x in Hana Yarmanati. Plus x na balance to kore ana gi minus 1 ma masire so the taman is the x to the power k minus 1 as karaga mana hui x minus 1 times of q is no then see the x minus 1 bracket to sella taman is the x minus 1 kamal to the first time with the x q last time second time with 1 which is divisible by x minus 1. Therefore p of k plus 1 is true whenever p of k is true. Hence by principle of mathematical induction the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. This is divisible by a plus b. Let Pn denote the proposition this is divisible by a plus b when n equal to 1. The value of this is n the 1 pixel we get this which can be factorized a plus b into a minus b. A plus b in have a therefore p of 1 is true. Let pk be true. It must be true. Then this n could not put cancel no we get this consider the expression consider sigue expression si arriba p twice n over adu a to the power twice k minus b to the power twice k is the a plus b times of q where q is cosine of n when this is divided by a plus b. For n equal to k plus 1 ama n the k plus 1 similarly we get this mostly when a square kama lo phokrani a to the power twice k minus to the c expression phangna minus b to the power twice k hapchelani hapchelibasi akhona yauramba natte aduna kono a square amount puri bidu minus to the single plus to ba mana balance orani then next second term do malen na thamo sigir kana mo sindu ani a plus b times of q na mo sindu krani remember the tamani stagi common factor do b to the power twice k lo krani ajik tamani stagi a plus b lo krani a square chin a square it must be a square or a square organi it will be a plus b lo krani a minus b lo krani there is a great mistake the great mistake common later si lo kari a plus b tamani stagi a plus b lo kari chin a square over a square q learning cbd b twice k a plus a minus b over minus cb c symbol c start of the bracket. Therefore, p of k plus 1 is true whenever p of k is true. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the proposition is true for all n belongs to n. Prove by mathematical induction that for all this. Well, let Pn denote this proposition when n equal to 1, this expression becomes this. P equal to 2 which is true. Thus, P of 1 is true. Let Pk be true for some k belongs to n, then n to the multiplication of then for n equal to k plus 1, n the k plus 1 symbol we get this. Which is less than 1 plus 1 by k to the power k. What? Then CD canary sahore no sahobo for to the k plus 1 symbol for CD proposition of then k plus 1 the game k plus 2 no solve k plus 1 is less than k plus 2. Therefore, p of k plus 1 is true whenever p of k is true. Hence, by induction, the proposition is true for all